Today we'll be making some metal bracers. These are things you'll need. Pineapple juice can, or any can will really do. Can opener, tin snips, hammer, pop riveter, pop rivets, washers, strap adjusters, black webbing, and needle and thread. First I wash the can inside and out using some dish soap and water, and then cut off the top and bottom with the can opener. Then using some tin snips, I cut along the length of the can. And then to flatten it, I used my hands to pull the sides apart as far as I could, and then used the back of my vise and a ball peen hammer to flatten it further. Now you could spend a lot more time flattening this out and getting rid of those ridges and everything, but I just needed it to be flat enough to work with, and I wanted to keep those ridges to show that it was once a can, because I think that adds a lot of character to the finished piece. And I transferred the pattern of a paper template onto the can. I made the template by measuring my arm and transferring that to paper, cutting it out, making sure it fits on my arm, making adjustments, while also keeping in mind the dimensions of the material I was working with. Each can is only so tall and so wide, so I had to make sure that each piece could fit in that area, which is why the bracer is made up of 3 plates. And on this template I forgot to add 1/8 inch tabs on each side, so I just added that after the fact, and then I cut it out with tin snips. Then I used my vise to bend those 1/8 inch tabs 90 degrees on each side, and then used my ball peen hammer to fully fold over those 1/8 inch tabs. And I did this just so that the sides would have a nice clean edge. There's probably better ways you can do it, like filing it down or grinding it down, but I thought this was easier, and also it's like the first thing my mind came up with, so that's how I did it. Then I drilled the holes for the pop rivets. And in this clip, I am using a drill press, which is completely overkill. A standard handheld drill will work just fine. Recently, I've just been using a center punch and punching the hole I needed. It works just as well. The only thing is you have to do a little more cleanup work. You have to either cut down or fold over little sharp bits at the back. And I will say, if you decide to use any sort of drill, make sure that you clamp the piece you're working on down really well so it doesn't go flying across the shop into someone or something. And I did all that 2 more times to make all 3 pieces. And then I pop riveted them together. Then using the back of my vise and a ball peen hammer, I shaped the bracer to fit around my forearm, constantly checking the fit and making readjustments. I cut a length of black webbing that would fit around my arm, punched a couple holes in it, and then I pop riveted that to the bracer.
So I had to do a couple things off camera because I forgot to do things and I made some mistakes. So first off, these are in 2 pieces now because this part is the very end of the bracer, you know, so it's like here, right? And I had to make this, well, I had to cut off and then bend it over just like the rest to give it a nice edge. Because that way I can actually move my arm like this. So I had to make a little adjustment there, which sucks because if I planned this better, then I wouldn't have this hole here, and these would be together currently. But I was originally thinking of putting the straps here. That's why I drilled the holes there. But now I have to put them here. So yeah, so the next step is to reattach these with the straps, and I guess cover up this hole with another rivet, I guess. So yeah, this is a lesson in planning and double checking you're making the right choice. So let's get on with it.
After I attached the second strap, I sewed on my 3D printed strap adjusters, which you can find on my Thingiverse or printables. Links to both will be in the description. And the sewing pattern I'm using is a box X stitch, mostly just because I thought it looked cool. If you don't know how to sew by hand, there's a great tutorial that I'll link in the card and in the description. I learned how to sew by hand by watching it and refer back to it whenever I need to sew anything. And I was definitely using the wrong tools for the job, because this needle had a hard time going through this material. I sometimes had to use a pair of pliers to pull it through. So I think next time I need a thicker needle. And I know this probably isn't the best way to fasten down these straps. You know, clips would probably be better, but this is just cheaper and easier for me. And after I sewed those on, it was done. I'm really happy with how these turned out. I'll definitely be making more armor pieces. I definitely want to have a full suit of armor, because that'd be cool. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.